guys, welcome back to Let's Chat with DJ Mommy Monday. I'm happy to have you guys here. As you guys may or may not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month and May 5th is Maternal Mental Health. So I wanted to talk today on Mommy Monday about the postpartum stage. A lot of times we focus on the pregnancy and we focus on nesting and we focus on making sure we have the cute little outfits and we have everything ready to go for when our little one arrives. But there's the 4th trimester. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or done any research on it. It is that 3-month period after like you have your baby, and it's like you're home, and not only are you nesting, but it's like you're bonding and you're figuring out breastfeeding and trying to get back to like a sense of normalcy, or creating what the new normal is going to be like. So I definitely wanted to talk to you guys a bit of that 4th trimester stage, which is one of the most wonderful stages ever, and it goes by very quickly. Like, you may hear a lot of women say that the time flies. It really does, especially when you're sleep deprived and you're exhausted and you don't know what's up, you don't know what's down, and you're making sure this little one is alive 24/7, especially if you're a first-time mom. It can be quite overwhelming. So I wanted to talk about that, especially that 2-week period when you are still in that phase where things are flowing out of you, and you know, you just had 9-10 months of growing this human, preparing, nesting. Then you go through the laboring process. That could be quick, it could be a very long one. It really depends up to your body. And then you don't really get a chance to regroup, and then they put this little baby in your chest and you're like, okay, vaya con Dios, go live, go raise this human. And you have no way of like, what the heck did I just went through, right? It's like equivalent of going through a car wreck. It's a really traumatic time, and a lot of times you know, you don't want to scare other women, and you don't want to make it more than it is, because it is a natural process. It is something that's been going on forever, since the beginning of human. But it is a very traumatic experience. It's not like, okay, I'm just gonna pop this beef right out. Some women have that privilege, others don't. But it can be life altering. I guess maybe traumatic may not be the word, but it's very life altering. And sometimes we don't stop to process, what did I just go through? What just happened? Am I okay? So yes, so the 2-week period is super important, super crucial, because you're still healing, you're still adjusting, you're still adapting through, you know, this little human that you got blessed with. But there is a bit of a time where women experience something that they call like the baby blues. It starts at like the 4th day after postpartum. It's actually quite natural, it's actually quite normal. I do want to normalize that some women do have fluctuations in hormones, not just throughout the pregnancy, but after that postpartum stage. Like I said, some women ease through it, and you can't really see any changes in their mood and their behaviors and their mental state, but other women do, and that's the conversation that we're having today. If you have gone through it, or know other women that are gonna go through it, at least you can start having this conversation. Like, yeah, it's normal for some women to experience certain things throughout that time. What's not normal is to not talk about it. A lot of times women don't want to pull back the curtain and allow other women to kind of see what's going on back there, because like, you don't want to traumatize anybody, right? You don't want to say that mothering and labor and delivery and postpartum and the 4th trimester, you don't want to say anything negative, because you're just got blessed with a human, and you should just be so happy and so blessed that you have a healthy baby. Yes, but there's also some things that happen that go along with it that some people don't talk about. They don't prepare you for. They don't prepare for the hormonal imbalances, for the heaviness that it involves. Sorry, somebody's at the window. The heaviness that it involves in like that bricks that fall into you, and you just like, oh my god, I gotta take this thing home and raise it and make sure it has everything it needs. There's a heaviness, and there's a burden, there's a sense of responsibility that a lot of times people don't talk about, despite the fact that your body's healing from the process, right? So just be very mindful of that 2-week postpartum period, that you may experience some baby blues, you may experience some more emotional outbursts, you may be more sensitive, you may be more you know, prone to cry, prone to just being more in tune, because you're very vulnerable. You just had this little one, your body's not as in its optimal capacity, and you have all these overwhelming feelings. You have the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, the hormonal, everything going there. So it's a lot, so just be mindful. I remember during my 2nd week of postpartum, I was watching, I don't know why, the Mama Duck, that like nursery thing, like 5 little ducks went swimming one day, 2 came back, 1 came back, whatever, and eventually none of the ducks came back, and I thought it was so horrific. The mama duck is sitting there or swimming in the lake looking for the ducks, and can you believe, you guys, I boo-hooed, I cried, and I knew I was in that 2-week baby blue period, and I allowed myself to cry over a mama duck losing all her 5 babies. Like, how crazy is that, right? Now that my child is a lot older and I see the song and I'm like, wow, that was my baby blue cry spell that I remember, and it's completely normal. What's not normal, I guess, that you would say is, like, now that my child is significantly other, for me to have those emotional outbursts and feelings and things like that, because like everything in life, or ideally, certain things should pass. So also in that 4th trimester, you want to be mindful of any postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety that may creep up and may arise. So I don't want to go ahead and describe the symptoms of depression or anxiety, because I don't want to diagnose you, and I don't want you to take this video as like a little checklist, like, yeah, I have this, I have that, I have postpartum depression, I have postpartum anxiety. What I do want to do in this video is to, if you are curious about it, talk to a professional. Because yes, it is very real. It is something that affects many women. 50% of women start experiencing it before the baby arrives, and it's, you know, after that 2-week, 3-week postpartum period, up to like that 3rd, 4th trimester, that's where you kind of start seeing it, and it is significant. Some women may experience the depression component, some women may experience the anxiety component during that postpartum, some women may not experience anything, and they just have the baby and jump right into it and everything's fine. What I will say is the first thing to do is, when you think you're experiencing some anxiety or some depression or something, is talk to someone, whether that's an older woman in your life, whether that's your mother or your mother-in-law. Talk to another woman who has been through that postpartum stage. Talk to another woman who has multiple children, who can give you multiple perspective. The most crucial thing when you're in your most vulnerable state is to create a team, to create a village. If you don't have that village, then there's forums online where you can ask questions and you can have support, and you can not feel like you're so alone in this life-altering, life-changing event that just happened. You have to talk to somebody. Certain things you know, that you may be experiencing may be completely normal. So if I would have told somebody, can you believe at 2 weeks I was crying because Mama Duck lost her kids? My friend who had a baby, or a fellow client, she was like, girl, that's normal, you're still in your 2-week baby blues period. Like, Mama Duck is gonna get her duckies back and you will totally be okay. So you have to create a sense of community, that village, just so you know that you're like, okay, I'm not going nuts, right? Like, if that's even a thing. So that's like my first thing. Like I said, you just went through a life-changing event, especially if you're a first-time mom, and even if you're a second-time or a third-time mom or fourth-time mom. Each pregnancy is different, each baby is different. You are a different woman, you are a different mom, every pregnancy, every child, and you're evolving as you go. So as you change, as you evolve, as you grow in your motherhood journey, you want to have different people in your corner that are going to ease that transition. So when you're in that 4th trimester, definitely talk to someone. Try to take breaks as much as you can. Like, yeah, right, DJ, I just had a baby, what break? But yes, you have to be very intentional of taking breaks, of prioritizing your needs. I remember that fourth trimester was crucial because I would focus on baby and hubby would focus on me. So it wasn't that he didn't care or was not paying attention to our daughter. It was he needed to make sure I'm eating, that my basic needs are being met, that I'm showering, that I'm resting, that I'm in my best space that I can, so I can be an effective mom to our daughter. If you don't have a partner or a spouse in that, I would suggest like a friend or a relative or somebody that you can really count on to give you some of that respite during that time, because you don't want to go this alone, especially in that 4th trimester. And then most importantly, don't forget to talk to a professional. If you feel that you're like, okay, I'm talking to my mom, I'm talking to my women tribe, I'm talking to other moms, and I seem like I can't shake this off, and it's like my emotions are out of control, like I'm having crying spells, I'm too anxious, I have separation anxiety when I'm not with my little one, it goes beyond that getting up every hour to make sure they're breathing. It goes a little bit more in depth than that. If your overall daily functioning is impaired, if you're not eating, if you're losing sleep, you have to be mindful of like, okay, what is really happening, that I may need a professional help, more guidance, maybe more of a postpartum support group, so it can help me navigate this. Because like I said, there is some normal things that do occur in the 4th trimester, in that postpartum period. But once you start seeing, okay, I'm not functioning in my most optimal self and I need a little bit more help, don't feel bad by seeking professional help, having support groups. You get help for lactation, you get help for you know, your OBGYN postpartum checkup, you get help from a nutritionist to make sure that you're eating and your breast milk is flowing. So why not talk to a professional about your mental health, and to make sure that you and your emotions and your minds and everything that's going on is not, you know, is taken care of, and you're flowing and you're doing your best. So those are the things that I can leave you with in this video to kind of help with that 4th trimester postpartum depression, anxiety, for you to kind of just know that it is normal. It affects millions of women. You're not alone, you're not crazy, you're not abnormal, there's nothing wrong with you, you're not failing. It's just a transitional period where your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, everything is trying to get it together, and it happens. So until your next Mommy Monday, don't forget to share, subscribe, and come back on Saturday for part 2 of this, because I do want to talk about postpartum in dads, or with dads. Okay, so take care, bye.